Hey, my name is Oliver and I present SoulGarden, a gamified meditation application to enhance meditation habits, enjoyment, mindfulness, and mental well-being, in which I work together with Janine Kirschner-Grath, Mark Schuban, Donald de Grain, and Maximilian Altmaier. Mental health is an integral part of overall well-being, yet high stress levels remain pervasive. According to Gallup's latest State of the Workplace, 41% of employees report experiencing significant daily stress. Chronic stress is far from benign. Longitudinal studies link it to increased risks of depression over time. A supportive and easy accessible practice to reduce stress levels is the practice of MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction. Research on meditation, a core element of MBSR, shows that even short-term practice can improve resilience, reduce stress, sharpen attention, and foster empathy and self-compassion. Yet, despite these well-documented benefits, many people find it challenging to establish a regular meditation practice. Gamification, the use of game elements in a non-game context, could provide a promising solution to these challenges. However, the effectiveness of gamified mental health interventions has been less researched, especially in regard to direct comparisons of gamified and non-gamified interventions in longer field trials. To address this research gap, we developed and evaluated SoulGarden, a gamified web-based meditation app that draws on the narrative of personal growth, a guiding avatar, and several progress-related mechanisms to increase users' enjoyment in meditation and thereby enhance their meditation habits, mindfulness, and mental well-being. SoulGarden uses 4 gamification elements: points, levels, avatar, and story. Through meditation, users accumulate points, known as soul energy, which then can be utilized to transform their personal garden. Their soul garden, initially a barren desert, gradually thrives into a vibrant mountain valley as users consistently practice and engage with the app. Specifically, we were interested in the following research questions. RQ1, how does the use of SoulGarden affect users' mindfulness? And RQ2, mental well-being. RQ3, how does gamification affect meditation practices, outcomes, and the enjoyment of meditation? First, we assess the system's usability within participants, which will be omitted, however, due to time constraints. For this experiment, following our research questions, we derived the following hypotheses. H1, using SoulGarden improves participants' mindfulness. H2, mental well-being. Both of the hypotheses we've been subdividing to make them more precise and testable. H1A and H2A state that participants in a no-gamification condition increase their mindfulness, respectively mental well-being, to baseline measures. H1B and H2B state that participants in a gamification condition increase their mindfulness, respectively mental well-being, compared to baseline measures as well as compared to no-gamification. H3, H4, and H5 state that participants will meditate more frequently, longer, and have increased enjoyment in a gamification condition compared to the no-gamification condition. We conducted a within-subjects field study over 4 weeks, with the independent variable being the version of SoulGarden's participants used, gamified versus non-gamified. The order of conditions was counterbalanced. Participants were randomly assigned to one of the versions at the beginning and switched after 2 weeks. As dependent variables, we considered in-app data as well as self-reported measures. Participants completed 3 sets of questionnaires. At baseline, 1A, midpoint, 1B, and endpoint, 1C, assessing intrinsic motivation using parts of the Intrinsic Motivation Inventory, IMI, mindfulness using a combination of the Mindful Attention Awareness Scale, MAS, and part of the 5 Facets Mindfulness Questionnaire, FFMQ, attitudes towards meditation using the Determinants of Meditation Practice Inventory, DMPI, and mental well-being using the Warwick-Edinburgh Mental Well-being Scale, WMWBS. We recruited 30 participants, 1 self-identified as diverse, 13 as female, 16 as male, who completed a total of 570 meditation sessions, amounting to 7,758 minutes. On average, participants completed 17 sessions of approximately 40 minutes each. Of these, 184 sessions used the timer feature, 116 were recorded using the stopwatch, and 217 involved guided meditations. R1. Gamification increased the number of meditations. Given the non-normal distribution of our data, we opted for a one-sided Wilcoxon-signed rank test, which revealed a statistically significant higher engagement in meditation practices in the gamification condition, supporting H3. R2. Gamification increased total meditation time, but not the duration of individual sessions. Using again the one-sided Wilcoxon-signed rank test, results revealed that participants in the gamification conditions showed a higher engagement in terms of longer meditation sessions compared to the no gamification condition. However, concerning the average duration per meditation session between the two conditions, we observed a small difference, which was not statistically significant. This nuanced finding indicates that H4 is not supported. R3. Gamification increased participants' enjoyment and perceived choice. Regarding intrinsic motivation, assessed via the IMI, both the interest, enjoyment, and perceived choice subscales showed significant differences between conditions. Participants in the gamification conditions reported higher enjoyment and greater perceived choice than in the no-gamification conditions, thus supporting
H5.
R4. The gamified version of SoulGarden improved self-reported mindfulness levels and attitudes towards meditation. First, we analyzed the mass state scores collected after each meditation analog to the previous results. While participants in the gamification conditions scored higher than the no-gamification conditions, this difference was not statistically significant. Second, using a Friedman test across baseline, no-gamification, and gamification condition, we found significant differences in the full mass, the FFMQ subscale, non-judging of an experience, and the DMPI. Pairwise comparisons, using the Durbin-Canova method, revealed that mindfulness and meditation attitudes significantly improved in the gamification condition compared to both baseline and no gamification. However, there was no significant difference between baseline and no gamification in any of these measures. Taken together, these findings indicate that the non-gamified version of SoulGarden had no measurable effect on mindfulness, whereas the gamified version consistently improved all mindfulness-related measures. This supports H1B, but not H1A. Thus, overall, H1 is only partially supported. R5. No effect of SoulGarden on mental well-being was found. Again, using a Friedman test across the three conditions, WMWBS scores showed no significant differences, suggesting that SoulGarden had no measurable impact on mental well-being. As a result, H2 and both sub-hypotheses are not supported. So, what's the conclusion in regard to our research questions? Our findings suggest that gamification can effectively boost intrinsic motivation, engagement, and mindfulness in meditation practices, making it a valuable tool in digital mental health interventions. Although gamification boosts engagement with mindfulness practice, and thereby increasing participants' mindfulness levels, it does not translate into improved mental well-being within the study's time frame. This lack of significance effect suggests that it might require a longer period of sustained mindfulness practice, since mental well-being is a broader construct encompassing an individual's psychological state and life satisfaction. If you want to find out more about the discussion, feel free to check out our paper. With this, I would like to conclude and thank you for your attention.